Are we sending to the right stream?
Yeah.
Is that for sure?
And
hello and welcome to A Gypsy's Kiss. It's Humpday, Hoedown, and I'm Shelley Carney.
oh, I forgot that gift that Heidi sent you. I've got to go get that. Put it back outside. And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll dance the night away. Guess who's back in town? And we have some gifts to open. We have some gifts to give away. We have some gifts to announce. It's all about Thanksgifting. Get it? Thanksgiving. I did that. See what I did there?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw it. I heard it.
I'm going to go get that other package.
Noticed it.
Actually, I'll wait until...
Danced around to it.
Humpday. Indeed, Humpday. And
Humpday.
Humpday. Day. Dia de los Humples.
See.
Okay, so we got so much to do. I don't actually know where to start. So we got emails to do. I think we should start with what I always start with.
Housekeeping, you want towels?
Of course you want towels because you need towels. And towels are important. Do not leave home without them.
Because, if you don't have a hot pad to take the turkey out of the oven, you could wrap a towel around your hand.
Take the turkey out. Make sure that before the end of tonight's video, you give us a thumbs up. YouTube likes it when you give us a thumbs up. We like it when you give us a thumbs up, like our videos. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, all the people that attend your Thanksgiving Day party tomorrow,
Absolutely.
and the entirety of your social networks. And finally, if you're not already, subscribe now. By the way, we'd like to thank those of you who got us over the 5,800 subscriber mark. So thank you very much. Thank you. That was very kind and thoughtful. But if you're not already a subscriber and you'd like to join the 5,800 plus that have already subscribed, subscribe now. And when you see that notifications bell, click on the notifications bell. And that way, when we start a live stream or when we launch a live stream or within a half hour of starting a live stream, you will be immediately informed. And
In the know.
wait.
Grow the channel.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I missed that. How did I miss that?
I don't know.
There was something we missed that one.
My cue wasn't there.
She's been away for a week, so maybe it's just that. Like I said, we do have some gifts that we got, but let's do giveaway first. Rats, I forgot to open the what you call the window. Let's do
Chrome.
some.
It's Chrome-tastic.
Chrome-tastic. So, why don't you tell the folks about what we're giving away tonight?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
Looks like we're doing a silver Yellowstone National Park collectible coin and a spy decoder from the
You know what?
Spy Museum.
I couldn't even get that to do it when I took mine apart, so that's just the way it is.
And a mini treasure
close to
chest
the
from
twist
3D
on
Bronze, 3dbronze.com. 3D Bronze, mini treasure chest. It looks like we should have had one opened over here. Okay, well,
That's the big one.
it looks like this, only smaller.
It looks like that. So it really does look like bronze. He does it with 3D printing, but it does look like bronze. Pretty amazing.
As you can see, this is our special AGK one.
And we put our nickel-plated coin in there.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
So you probably wonder
Put
where
your
that
treasures in
nickel-plated
there.
is. Okay, so the giveaway is from last Wednesday. That would be the 20th. Okay, that's that one right there.
We didn't
All
do
right.
the giveaway video yet.
Giveaway video, gifts, giveaways. Where is the giveaway video?
It says giveaway.
Oh, right there. Because why? How can we get through the night without the butt drums?
You know, they might not have the Thanksgiving parade tomorrow with all the butt drums, so you got to have it tonight.
You know, when they put butt drums in the Thanksgiving parade,
Then it'll be a real parade.
yeah, then that's when we know it's become an international butt drum parade.
Uh-huh.
And it won't be the last one, I'm sure. Okay, so let's do screenshots and go to the video. And so you would have had to, you have about 30 seconds to comment on the video of November 20th in order to qualify for the drawing. It's this one right here, Forrest Fenn Humpday Hoedown 2019 11/20. And we're going to look at the edit.
Send out a
on
quick hello to
that.
Karen Werner, because it sounds like she's only saying hi and leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for joining us.
Get ready for her Thanksgiving.
Okay, so we're going to copy that link right there. And we were going to go to...
Toby was all alone, because I had to go home and pack.
Sad. That's quiet. Commentpicker.com.
But I'm here now, so you don't
Yeah,
have to
no,
be
no.
sad
I
anymore.
don't have to be sad anymore. I'm happy.
And we're having
Although we
Thanksgiving
gotta,
tomorrow.
although we got to send her home early tonight because it's supposed to snow here. It's going to start snowing pretty soon. We got to play the safety
So
squad.
it says. I don't see no snow.
It's going to snow.
I don't even see
I can
clouds.
feel it in my creaky old bones.
Oh,
So we're going to go to YouTube comment picker, random comment picker, and we're going to filter out the duplicates. First, we have to put in the YouTube link. Tab through that. Filter out all the duplicates. So it doesn't make any difference how many times you enter the comment. It filters out all the spare ones. What?
I was just seeing if we had a drum roll, but we don't. We have a rim shot, but not a drum roll.
No, we used to, but we ran out of...
Yeah, spots.
Okay, so wow, 66 unique players in this game. And again, remember, it includes one of 3D Bronze's boxes, chests, the Civil War Secret Decoder, and the Yellowstone National Park silver commemorative coin. So you get all three of those things. So let's see who the winner is. We're going to pick them right now.
You know, I already went over all of that.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry, Miss.
You told me to.
I was paying attention. Sarah G is our winner tonight.
Sarah G.
Not a familiar name. Sarah G. So you are our winner tonight, Sarah G. You get these things that Shelley already went over, and the only thing that you have to
Did Toby.
and the only thing that you have to do is send your snail mail address, your shipping address, to gypsykiss@gmail.com, and I will put it into the mail over the weekend, and I send it USPS priority, so it comes in a couple of days. Okay. Now, as for next week,
Sarah G.
Sarah G. That's whoever that is.
Go back to full screen.
Go back to full screen. We didn't get any commercials. I wonder what that was about.
They know you shut it down
I guess,
every time.
yeah. They got tired of me beating up on them. So next week we have the one remaining Beal, the Yellowstone Forever Bear, and man, I feel like I want to keep this one for me because they are so snuggable. I don't know how else to describe them. You could do a little happy Thanksgiving to you, and we have one more mediums. We have one more. Is this the last one? one more medium-sized 3D bronze.
There's another one in the box.
Medium-sized? Or
Yeah.
those the little ones?
Oh, I don't know.
We have the little ones for the game that we're going to save tomorrow.
Oh. Oh, yeah, there's 2 more wrapped up.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have 2 more after this, but this is the last deal. So we'll give that away next week. In order to qualify for this drawing, all you have to do is, after the show is published to YouTube, you have to make a comment. Chat comments don't count. You have to write a comment down below this video in order to qualify for next week's drawing. All right? And we do give them away. Ask Sarah G. We just gave one away to her. Oh, you know what?
No.
We are going to open some gifts, but I got to say thank you for this. So I got a box in the middle of the week, and it was from a company called PriorService.com. And I didn't know what it was. I hadn't ordered anything from them. I opened it up, and it's a baseball cap. I don't know how close you can see that. It's a Vietnam Veterans baseball cap, and it has my old organization, the Army Security Agency. Now, when we were in Vietnam, we couldn't use that name because there's some little problems with the Geneva Convention. So we were known as Radio Research, which we all thought was hanky. But what I wanted to do is say thank you, because so I opened up the invoice and there was no from, and there was a little notation that said gift, meaning that they could hide that. And so I called the company and said I wanted to thank the individual, and they said they would be happy to send an email to the individual saying that I thanked them, but they couldn't share the email address or the contact information with me. So, which is, again, you want to maintain your anonymity. So to whomever sent me this baseball cap, Vietnam Veteran Army Security Agency, I'm very grateful, and it is, I can't tell you how good it makes me feel to have this memory of my service time. It's one of the best things, and I will be wearing it on a regular basis, especially when I go to the VA hospital, because all the other guys at the VA, well, not all of them, a lot of them wear their caps to the VA hospital, and I didn't even know you could find one with the ASA on it. The ASA at the time was a branch of the National Security Agency, and after my 5 years with the service, I spent 5 years with the National Security Agency before I went into business for myself. So we did get a couple of gifts that we want to open up. So let's do... So I'm going to have to apologize in advance for this one. And the reason is this one came from Lisa Smith, and it is a sample of sand from Corona del Mar in California. And she sent this to our well, it's the same address, but she sent it for our sand channel because she indeed has... No, this is not the Corona del Mar. I made that mistake twice. This is from the Columbia River. So she sent us a sample of sand from 2 locations on the Columbia River. But she wrote on it, she says, open with Shelley. And I thought, Shelley's just not that big into sand as I am. So, but she did have a present in here.
Oh.
And it looks like it's for you.
Wow.
From Lisa
look at
Smith
that.
in Bremerton, Washington. So that's definitely for you.
Thank you.
I'm happy with my sand.
It's got a note and a bracelet.
Oh, how nice.
A little heart that says made with love.
How pretty. Did she make that for you?
Let's see what it says.
You have to. I'll take that.
Take that. It says, hi, Shelley. I couldn't send something to Toby without sending something to you. I make these bracelets when I'm itching for something different to do. The magnetic closure is pretty snug. Just slip your fingernail between to release the magnet. Thought the turquoise color was fitting. Love what you do. Oh, it's my favorite. Love what you do, Lisa Smith. Well, thank
Wow,
you,
how nice
Lisa.
is that?
That's
Made
very
with love.
nice.
It doesn't fit me.
There we go. Okay.
Magnets. Wow.
Cool.
How nice is that?
Yeah, look at that.
And Lisa, again, thank you for Shelley's beautiful diamond-like bracelet, and thank you for my bag of sand. I really appreciate it. That's what I asked
got
for.
this fancy bag.
And-
Look at that. That's pretty cool too.
And did she write me a note? Let me see if I got a note with a sand. Let's see. The pretty bag is for Shelley. Hi, Toby. Here are 2 samples of sand. As promised, I do have to tell
Hi,
you
honey.
that we... oh, is Kevin in the room?
Yes.
I do have to tell you that we enjoyed the time spent collecting them. Wow, it's kind of Forrest Fennish. A little bit like go out, get away from your little texting
That's right.
machines.
That's right.
Get away from your little texting machines and go out and collect
And
Toby
see, and we didn't
some
have
sand.
to hide $2 million worth of treasure.
Right.
And,
The treasure
and
is
all of-
out there.
All that stuff.
And
all
when
we
you-
had to do was say, "Go get us some sand."
And you know what? Look at this. Can I do that? I can't on this. I'm already.
And you don't have to go anywhere special to do it. You can just go wherever is close
And if
by.
you go to our photos, you'll see they look like jewels. So the first one is Columbia
Mr.
River,
Sandman.
Washington side at Maryhill State Park. And then the second one is from, there's 2 samples in there.
It is snowing in the Albuquerque area.
We
Kevin
saw
said
that.
it's good. There's a light snow, but it's not sticking. And I said, "Let me know if it changes."
Yeah, we'll get her
It's
out
not
of
snowing
here.
here.
We have 0 in the way of snow, but if it starts getting sticky over there, just let me know and we'll send her home. John Day River, LePage Park, a tributary to the Columbia. The John Day is the 2nd longest river in the United States without a dam. Sample taken just inside the mouth of where it enters the Columbia. Wow. They're very dark sands. So she's actually next week's show. Today we did a show on some sand that came from San Clemente Beach State Park in California that was sent to us by Oscar Rodriguez. I know I kind of changed the subject there, but we had a great time with it. Okay, so did we play We Got Gifts? What was
Yes.
the other thing? Oh,
Well, there was a box.
the box. Okay.
What's inside the
So
box?
this came, big box. Big box. And hand me the, is there a,
Watch out. He's got a knife.
watch out, Toby's got a knife.
He's dangerous with a knife. You should see how he messed up his thumb one time. Knife fight.
I sharpened my own, that's what I tell
Get a knife fight.
That's what I tell my grandkids. They say, where did that come from? A knife fight. You ought to see the other guy. So this is from Christy and Mike. Very nicely packaged. Covered in bubble wrap.
Orange bubble wrap for
orange
the
bubble.
season.
Orange bubble wrap. Ugh, I need my knife back.
Don't cut your thumb off.
Nope, I won't. And it's our copy of
Chaseopoly.
Chaseopoly. Yay. So sealed in plastic, so we're not going to open it tonight any further. But the plan is, so I'm having Shelley and Kevin, along with Jason, over to my house tomorrow for Thanksgiving dinner. I'm doing Thanksgiving at my house. And our plan is, once we clean up the table and put the dishes, dirty dishes in the dishwasher, we're going to start playing a game of Chaseopoly. And what I will do is I will hook up my, what's that phone that you don't have a wire on it?
Don't have a
Cellular phone,
wire.
wireless phone.
What the
And
what?
we'll share a little bit of Chaseopoly
Well,
with
Grandpa.
you guys. Yeah. It's that phone where you don't have the wire. It's got the little texting
You
machine.
mean wireless?
Yeah, wireless.
Yeah.
And this should be our order within the first 75 orders. Silver coin. What's that?
These are the people on the cards.
Oh, the characters? Mm-hmm. Ah.
It tells you more about them. And
Oh, that's the code.
for what?
I don't know. Who knows with Mike? Okay, so there's some cipher included in there. Well, maybe I'm not supposed to show you that.
Which searcher
So-
are you?
It's included in there, so we have to do some figuring out. First, it's got Morse code, then it's got a bunch of numbers, and then you go to a YouTube. So Mike has, as usual, made it
Kitchen
interesting.
sink Kevin. Kevin thought this was about him.
Oh, interesting and fun.
The thrill of the chase saved Kevin's life. After his retirement, his wife passed away. No, it's not you.
I know.
And Kevin felt lost. Kevin fills his time by looking at everything and anything remotely related to the hunt. The chase consumes his life. It gave him purpose every moment of every waking hour. Kevin devotes himself to solving the poem. He studies words, scrapbooks, photos, videos, history, maps, you name it. Kevin believes that clues exist everywhere. If Forrest Fenn were to sneeze, it could be a hint. He even looked at his toast this morning and thought he saw a clue. The other members of the chase community think that Kevin is off his rocker, but is he really? Kevin knows what he has found is much more than a coincidence. There are clues everywhere. Kitchen sink Kevin.
I just realized I didn't have the chat in front of me. Didn't have the chat in front of me. Okay. Okay.
I wonder which one you are.
I don't know.
Oscar overconfident?
No, I'm the...
Gadget Guy Jin?
That's me. Either that or the clueless Toby.
There is one of those.
Oh, okay.
There's a code breaking Charlie.
All right. Oh, I knew I should have gone to the potty before we started this show.
I thought you did.
I did, but I did realize, no, I'll just wait. It was getting too close. So we do have a silver coin to go with tonight's gift of Monopoly, and we will be giving that silver coin away.
What number is it?
It's not numbered. It's one of the
Oh,
unnumbered
it's one of the
ones.
unnumbered.
So that's what they were doing. I remember now. There was only 3 numbered ones left, and they were all Forrest's birthday, and they were by drawing. So there were 3 individuals that got Monopoly whose name was Chaseopoly, who was drawing. But we'll give that away like we do the other stuff, so that you'll be able to share in that silver coin experience.
Well, if you need to go, I could read
I'd be-
the other characters
okay,
while
go
you're
ahead.
doing that. Okay, so let's take a look at the characters.
Drink that damn cup of coffee.
As you can see, these are the characters. Let me read to you about Oscar Overconfident. Oscar is a millennial. He has been pampered all his life. He has grown up a mama's boy and has never been told that there was something that he couldn't do. His golden hair and movie star looks did nothing to dispel that notion. He has coasted through life with everyone telling him how wonderful and handsome he is. So why should he think that he isn't? He is from that generation that received trophies from everything. He has a whole shelf full of trophies. So when Oscar heard about the thrill of the chase, he just knew he would be the one to solve it. Within days of getting the book, Oscar had it all figured out and couldn't wait to spread the news on social media. He knows exactly where the treasure was hidden and will tell everybody who will listen, which isn't many except his mama. Unfortunately, Oscar always has an excuse as to why he does not have the chest. Do you know anybody like Oscar? Or how about Polly, poem purist? Let's take a look at Polly. Polly is a stubborn woman. When she gets an idea into that pretty pure head of hers, she refuses to let anyone change her mind. She once got into a fight over the price of a studded dog collar and lost her left eye in the scuffle. But rumor has it that the other guy ended up with worse injuries. When Forrest Fenn said that all you needed to find the treasure was the poem, Polly took him at his word and refuses to consider any other source of material for her solution. Polly may look innocent and pure, but don't let her looks fool you. She can be very dangerous. Don't ask her to consider even for a minute a scrapbook or Fenn's weekly words. She carries a whip, and she isn't afraid to use it. No one knows if Polly has been boots on the ground, but some searchers say they have spotted a woman dressed all in white, spying from the treetops. Interesting. All right. Who else we got? No Clue Newbie? Nancy. No Clue Newbie Nancy. Nancy is new to the chase and has no clue where to begin. Nancy, she has just recently been on the forums and doesn't even know enough Fenn speak to know when she's being ridiculed by the ever-present veterans of the hunt. The oft-used acronyms are confusing to Nancy. She turns back to the book to try to figure out what they mean, not knowing that they are something the searchers have invented. She has no clue, but at least she knows that she is far from a solve. Nancy has one thing going for her. She lives in the Rocky Mountains. Well, Nancy, I'll tell you what. You hang out here with us, and And we will fill you in on all the acronyms, and we'll even study the book with you. So you're all right with us, Nancy. Nancy Newbie. Okay, we got Gadget Gaijin. Gaijin has money. He also has gadgets, lots of them. He is of the opinion that money can buy anything, even the way to Fenn's treasure chest. It is called indulgence, after all, isn't it? Gaijin is one of the few international searchers in the hunt. In Japanese, his name means outside person, and he feels that his name is a sign that it is his destiny to find the treasure chest. He arrived in the USA emulating Forrest Fenn, wearing an aviator cap and jacket, carrying a map and lots of supplies. He immediately went boots on the ground and has been in search mode ever since. He feels he is prepared for everything and anything, and if he isn't, well, he will just buy whatever he needs. Gaijin dreams big. The sky's the limit with this guy. I think I want to be friends with Gaijin. Maybe we could, show him around New Mexico for a prize. He seems to have a lot of money.
Yeah. Gaijin is what they call white people.
Yeah, I know, but he's not white. Isn't that funny?
So that comes with him. Do we have to cut these out?
No, that's
Or they're
just
just
they're
kind of
cards. The cards are in there. They have a bunch of the cards
Very
in there.
nice.
This just
Very
fills
nice
you
color printing.
fills you in on their backstory.
So we'll let you know two ways, actually. If we play tomorrow after dinner, then we'll live stream that so you guys can share in the experience a little bit, not the whole thing.
Yeah,
Just
you
give you a
don't wanna be
sense.
there for
And then
days
on
and
Friday,
days.
on Friday we'll tell you what the.
Tell you what the what.
I already do not like that guy. Okay, let's see. Did somebody take care of him?
I don't know. Hooli.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then. Back to what we were doing.
Okay, so we got giveaway, we got housekeeping, we got giveaways, we got gifts.
We open all the stuff that we got.
Yeah, it was just
All the
those two
mail?
things, one from Lisa and one from
Alrighty.
Mike and Christy. Mike and
Then we're
Christy,
ready
thank
for
you very much.
emails.
We're looking forward to playing the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, so I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving as well. It's a day to spend time with family and stuff. Okay,
And friends.
and friends,
And neighbors.
family and friends and neighbors.
And church people and whoever you come across that needs a meal.
Here comes emails.
And we're here for emails.
Okay.
Here
So I'm
they
going
come.
to let you read the emails while I take care of this situation here. So let me pick a long one.
I think it's at the very back is the
Is it?
longest one.
Okay. Ugh. Somebody else beating up on Toby. All right, read that. Let me take care of this situation here.
All right. This says, Logan commented on your video. Forrest Fenn Friday Fandango from the 22nd. That was last Friday. Yes. And it says, Toby, when I first watched you, I was not your biggest fan. But as time has passed, I've witnessed your passion, care, and understanding in handling your call-ins, write-ins, etc. Though we're opposites, I have come to respect you. You were also right about the Navajo. He was not keen on Forrest. As it turns out, he was not needed. And in 9 months, when Fenn turns 90, he will receive a special gift from me, a certain bracelet. Man alone is also right. This is just the beginning. And in answer to your question, the only thing that you wanted to know is no, the chest was not in New Mexico. What is that supposed to mean? That he found it?
The implications are kind of that he found it.
That he has it?
I have come to
And
respect
if he
you.
has it, Why is he waiting so long to give the bracelet back to Forrest? He
I didn't get the part about the Navajo.
He must have
You
brought
were
something
also
up
right
too.
about the Navajo.
Well, the Native Americans don't like Forrest Fenn,
Well,
or
yeah,
don't want to talk about the treasure hunt. They're not
so
happy
there
about
was a
it.
certain bracelet. Manalone was right. I don't know what Manalone said. Interesting. Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like that deserves a rooster.
Yes, yes,
right.
it does.
Okay. Well, it really does have a question. I was hoping that we'd have something there, a special gift from me, a certain bracelet. So he's going to give him back his bracelet on his 90th birthday.
I wouldn't wait.
I wouldn't either. Give it to him now. He
He's
might
getting
not.
old, man.
Suppose he doesn't make it to the 90th birthday.
I know.
You better
There's
call
gonna
him.
be some snow
better-
and black ice out there tonight.
You better
so-
call him tomorrow and let him know you
Bad
have
things
this thing
can
so we
happen.
can get this over with, for God's sakes.
This is entitled 3 Questions.
I can tell this is going to
You
be.
seem confident whenever you say each of the following. 1, there is no lead searcher. 2, the treasure hasn't been found. 3, read the scrapbooks for entertainment. I think that's entertainment only, in fact. In my opinion, you're wrong on all these counts. Prove me wrong.
Oh,
Love your show. Regards, Tammyjo from Kokomo.
Tammyjo. Do you think she did that on purpose just so it would
Way
rhyme?
down in Kokomo.
Where is Kokomo?
It's actually in Indiana,
Indiana.
just north of Indianapolis.
All
It's a
right,
suburb
let's
of
see. You seem
Indianapolis.
confident whenever you say each of the following. There is no lead searcher. The treasure hasn't been found. Read the scrapbooks, entertainment. In my opinion, you're wrong on all those counts. Well, that is your opinion. Prove me wrong, she says. Regards, Tammyjo. Well, the only way 2 out of the 3, there is no lead searcher. The treasure hasn't been found. The only way to prove you wrong is to show up one day with the treasure. That would make me the lead searcher and prove to you that the treasure's been found. You've heard me say in the past that from a logic perspective, you cannot prove a negative. I can't prove to you that the treasure hasn't been found. I can't prove to you there is no lead searcher. There's just no way to prove that. We can only say it. My opinion is that there's no lead searcher, but the evidence supports it because there's no indication from anyone, especially Forrest Fenn. When Forrest Fenn uses the phrase, quote, lead searcher, unquote, then I will take back my opinion that there is no lead searcher. Until that happens, I have to assume, my opinion is, and there's no evidence to indicate otherwise, that there is no lead searcher. And as proof of it, if you go into any forum, and sometimes here, half the people in the forum think they're the lead searcher. So I don't see how there can be a lead searcher when half the people who are searching for the treasure think they're the lead searcher. The treasure hasn't been found. And I'll repeat what I say on a regular basis. There is no clear and convincing evidence that the treasure has been found, or that the poem has been solved, and that the treasure has been found and or recovered. There is no evidence of that. Now, can I prove that hasn't happened? No, because you can't disprove a negative, right? Somebody, our friend over here that just wrote us, might have it in his closet waiting for Forrest's birthday, which I think would be crazy. I'd want to announce that not anonymously as I could, as soon as I can. But again, until I see clear, until any of us, we should all be saying the same thing, until any of us sees clear and convincing evidence that the poem has been solved, that the treasure has been found and or recovered. Until then, as far as I'm concerned, the treasure is still out there. And from what Forrest says a lot, the treasure, he still believes that the treasure is still out there. Could it be that our friend here found the treasure and is keeping it, like I said, in his closet until Forrest's birthday next year? I guess that is possible. But I don't see how anybody could do that without announcing it to the world and showing it to the world. So I will continue until proven and I'm not going to say that, until provided evidence otherwise. I will continue to say there is no credible evidence that the poem has been solved, that the treasure has been found and or recovered. And then for the third one, she says, read the scrapbooks for entertainment. So I'm going to use the same logic, and that is, God bless him. He writes wonderfully in a very folksy way. He's learned how to do it well, and he loves storytelling. My sense is that just based on we had a conversation with our VIP group last night, and the scrapbooks, especially those of recent release, are very different from the memoirs that Forrest wrote 10 years ago. He's become a better writer and a better storyteller over time. And I think as a result, he enjoys writing and storytelling. And he's going to keep pumping these things out as long as he has stories to tell and as long as he can bang on a keyboard. So I read them for entertainment, and I have no evidence that there are clues or hints, but there is one thing, and that is if, again, every time he releases one of his scrapbooks, you look at the forums, any of the forums in which the scrapbook is discussed. You could go to Chase Chat, to Harry's forum, to Hint of Riches, to Dale's site. And the commentary indicates that, I'm not going to say every person, but several people who read the scrapbook feel like Fenn is speaking to them, whether they think they're the lead searcher or not. So that...
Including us.
Well, I do have a... Well, it wasn't a scrapbook actually.
It always seems to talk about stuff
that we've talked about.
Right after
Yeah,
we talk
yeah.
about it, right? The Great Sand Dunes.
The Great Sand Dunes, the house, the what's his name's house?
Joseph Sharp
Joseph
House.
Sharp House, yeah. So,
Cabin.
but we don't believe that. We think it's funny, but we're not going like, oh yeah, he's talking about us. But if you go to any time he's released a scrapbook, go to any one of those 4 locations, forums, fora, and check the conversations, and each person is finding a different thing in that scrapbook that Fenn has given to them as a way of hinting that they're on the right track, or, half of them say, oh, he really helped me with my solution, my solve. And there's only so many people that can do that before you realize half, again, I don't want to say half, a significant number of the people who read those scrapbooks feel like Forrest is speaking to them in a way that helps them via confirmation bias that believe that their solution, their theory, is the one that's going to solve this treasure hunt. And the simple fact of the matter is logic speaks otherwise. You can't be talking to 2 people. You can't be talking to 10 people. You can only be talking to one person. Either that, or you'd be talking to a lot of people and they're all coming to the same conclusion. And that doesn't happen. So that means the scrapbooks are as random as each individual wants them to be random. Therefore, my opinion is that you can't have that model where everybody believes that Fenn is speaking to them in the scrapbooks, and have scrapbooks that are providing hints and clues, et cetera, et cetera. In addition to that, if you look at the range of conversations that he's had recently, he's talking about dozens, if not hundreds, of things. And there's only so many things you can talk about and still maintain the quality of your hint and clue giving. It just doesn't happen. So yes, and this is what makes, I can't prove you wrong, right? There is no way to prove that you're wrong. I can only express my opinion based on what I see, and thankfully, because we live in America, you can express your opinion. So, Tammyjo from Indiana. Did you say Indiana?
That's where Kokomo is.
Kokomo, Indiana. Tammyjo.
I used to live in Indianapolis, and when that song came out, there's a part of the loop that goes around Indianapolis that, says
Beltway.
Kokomo this way.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, hey. That was a long time ago.
Did you ever go to the Indy 500 while you were there?
No, it was, it's like when you live next door to the Grand Canyon, you don't go. It's just, it's a touristy thing.
You go once just to say that you've been.
I have no interest in that stuff.
It is the race it's America's race.
I have no interest in car racing.
Next email.
And it's just
By the way, if you
I worked at the airport at the time, so it was just one of those times when it was super busy.
If you do have any interest in car racing, make sure you go see Ford versus Ferrari with Christian Bale and Matt Damon. It is a really it's historical. It is nonfiction, And so if you were a kid growing up in that period from 1960 to the mid-60s, early to mid-60s, where this was actually happening in real time, you'll have a lot of memories brought back. It certainly did for me.
Thanks for stopping in, Greg Keller. Have a
Greg Keller,
safe trip to work and a
enjoy.
safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, by the way, one of the things that you might notice where Greg was letting us know that he was saying something, he preceded it, well, he didn't precede, he added to his comment the @ A Gypsy Kiss, so that when we see it on our side, we see it highlighted in bright orange color. So we know that you're trying to reach out to us. Another way to reach out to us, if you care to use your little texting machine, is you can send a text message to 202-815-1171. 202-815-1171.
Jack wants to be moved to December. Okay, Jack. I'll have to write that down because I don't have my first
It's at the bottom of all the stuff there.
Oh,
Well, do it, write it down because it literally is at the bottom.
okay. Well, I'll put it on the back of last night's notes.
Okay.
How about that? Jack, December. You gonna go out in the snow?
Oh, no, we don't want to do that. Oh, I'm going to play that. So just be safe out there. We're finally getting some weather here in New Mexico, so that means they're getting
Wayne
weather.
Ross and Odin agree with you on the movie.
Oh, yeah. No, go see the Ford versus Ferrari. Yeah, it was really great. And it's actually has very little rate. It has the scenes are primarily the drama between Carroll Shelby, Ken Miles, Henry Ford II, and Lee Iacocca, and a guy whose name is BB. I don't remember BB. I do remember Lee Iacocca because Lee Iacocca went on to run Chrysler and bring it back from its death throes. So
Jack also said, Toby, I'm the lead searcher, buddy. I can't prove it yet.
then why say it if you can't prove it? Right? So how many other of you people in the room think they're the lead searcher as well?
Denver is frozen. Is Ford versus Ferrari about the Shelby? Asks the sassy.
No, well, it's about Carroll Shelby and his relationship. This was a point at which Shelby was just developing as a, quote, manufacturer of automobiles, unquote. And Ford was looking of Lee Iacocca, who was vice president of marketing at the time, was looking for a way. Ford had just entered that early 60s slump that a lot of American manufacturers were entering. And so Lee Iacocca was chartered with figuring out a way to do that. And what he decided to do was buy Ferrari, who at the time was experiencing bankruptcy. And that deal fell through, and it really hurt Ford that he did that. So they started looking for an alternative to get them into, they were racing in NASCAR at the time, stock car racing. But they felt like Lee Iacocca felt that where they needed to be was international racing. So they recruited Carroll Shelby to build the Ford GT40 for them that was almost an embarrassment the first year. But then the following year went on to win the 12 hours of Sebring, the 12 hours of Daytona, and the 24-hour of Le Mans. And that's what that story is about. So it is, Carroll Shelby is the leading figure, Ken Miles to a lesser extent. And unfortunately, Ken Miles is... Well, I won't. What do they call it?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we won't say that. But it's very historically done, and the acting was amazing. I'm not a big fan of either Christian Bale or
Matt Damon.
I don't know. I just think of him as the Bourne guy.
Bourne identity.
But
That's 'cause
they
his
did
identity
really,
is
really
Bourne.
well, and the characters they picked to be part of Ford Motor Company, including Henry Ford II. Lee Iacocca, the vice president of marketing, and this guy whose name, I think it was Harry Beebe, who was just an a-hole, but he played being an a-hole so really well that it was very nicely done. So
Toby needs to start a movie analysis club. Sunray says.
sorry, I didn't mean. I just got off. I'm just saying if you're a fan of if you're an automobile guy, if you're
Apparently,
a car guy,
Odin is a big fan.
yeah,
So.
it's a good place to go. And I noticed
He was enjoying.
was it William or Wayne that said they
Wayne
enjoyed
Ross.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it was my daughter Toby Renee that called me, that sent me a text message, and she said if I hadn't seen it to go see it. So
All right.
Go ahead.
Moving on to the next email.
Next email.
A requiem for a dream / Vasquez from
Vasquez.
the Dalek. Exterminate. Dalek.
What is his
Dalek.
name? Oh, yes, but look at his name there. Dalek Kiergark of the Covenant Hunter at gmail.com.
Why are you telling everybody
Nobody's
going
to pick that up
address?
anyway. So.
Toby, thank you for a great show on last Friday, 11/22. I am a devoted fan. I am curious when, date and time, did you receive the email from Mr. Vasquez on the dream?
Yes, I received it on Friday, the 22nd of November at 12:20 p.m. I hope that helps. I don't know.
So, like I said, I have a friend who lives in New Jersey, and that is his last name, and he says it Vasquez.
Vasquez.
That's how he says it.
Well, I'm
That's
looking
why
at
I say it that way.
Is that Lucy's dad?
Yeah,
Oh, she's so cute.
yeah. Lucy Vasquez. For her first birthday, they had all the cakes, all the little cakes and all the pretty things, and it was all I Love Lucy theme.
How cute.
It was so cute.
She's just adorable. The pictures that they've sent to you are just really cute. Of course, now what is she now? She's probably
I think
Five.
she's the same age as
Mila.
Mila, or
Yeah.
right around the same age
Yeah,
as Mila.
She's 5.
Yeah. This is called The Treasure from Greg Gran. Hello, my name is Greg. I live in Oklahoma and have recently found out about Fenn's Treasure. I am broke and have no way to go search other than on the internet. I believe I have a good idea exactly where this is. I have read or watched many things involving the clues and have put together what appears to be a location that includes all of them. Sent from my iPhone. Congratulations, Greg. You're the winner
So
of the Newbie
did
Award
he
for
say-
tonight.
Yeah. So, Greg, honestly, you're experiencing you're experiencing the emotions, set of emotions that everybody who's ever started this treasure hunt experiences within the first, I'll say, couple of weeks, maybe month, because we all, including me, come to the conclusion. We read the poem twice, we read the book once, and we know where the treasure is. And there is nothing that will screw up your theory more than being boots on the ground. Now, you said,
I didn't see where he
I
said
am
meh,
broke.
meh, meh, meh.
I am broke and have no way to go search other than the internet. Again, Greg,
And you may want to use your internet.
so here's
to
the thing.
Grow a business.
The winter months to grow.
Probably make a whole lot more money than trying to go out there and look for this treasure.
Just start a YouTube channel, and then eventually YouTube sends you money.
Eventually. Yeah.
Not much, but
Yeah.
it's better than being broke, is the way we see it.
Yeah. And it doesn't cost you anything but time.
Right. So here's the good news. Number one, you are literally experiencing the same thing that everybody who starts this treasure hunt experiences. And you will then experience what everybody else experiences when they go boots on the ground, and that is, A, you were wrong, and B, the problem is much bigger than you ever imagined. So it's actually kind of good. I know this sounds crazy. It's kind of good that you're broke because that prevents you from making an expensive mistake. Don't do it. Spend another year. In the meantime, nobody's going to search over the winter and take your treasure. So here's the thing to do. Spend the winter months saving up some money. You'll need about $2,000 if you drive. And then next spring, once the snow melts, depending on where you're looking, it could be as late as April or early May. Then you can go look for it yourself. But again, you're going to find out two things. Number one, you were wrong. And number two, the problem is much bigger than you ever imagined. So it's actually good that you're broke at this point. I know that sounds crazy. I don't mean to be facetious about that, but that way you can't spend money right now. Save up over the winter, work on your theory even further, listen to what Fenn has said about the clues, read the little thing about the little girl in India, do all of those things, and then really think it through before you start spending money. So it's better to be broke at this point because you don't want to be spending money on a theory that you came up with after reading the book once. That's my advice.
So I have from Kyle Miner says, do you still believe the 200-foot comment Forrest made was to throw us off?
No, I think when he made it early on, he was very sincere about what he was trying to say. But what's interesting, of course, is that it tells you as much as it doesn't tell you. So he said a couple of searchers have been within 200 feet. That means within 200 feet could have been within 10 feet if it's within 200 feet. But I do believe that he got indications from probably a friend of his that was an early searcher that after sending us some pictures and an email describing the location, that they were definitely within 200 feet of the treasure. And he's always used the distinction between searchers and people. The conclusion we came to is that it's easy to get, well, I shouldn't say that, that it is possible to get within 200 feet of the treasure. But even more interesting to me is that people, not searchers, people, and he's always said this, people have been within 500 feet of the treasure. And I think he used, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think lots of people have been within 500 feet of the treasure. The implication to me being that there is a thoroughfare of some kind traveled by people who are not looking for the treasure and is within 500 feet of the treasure. Think about that for just a second. So you could be on a road in, say, Yellowstone, driving along, and if he hid it in Yellowstone, you could be within 500 feet of that treasure just by driving on the road. So
Not that we think it's there.
we don't want you going to, well, no. You can go to Yellowstone if you want, but we don't think it's there.
Odin says, completely off topic, I know, but would love some time to hear any memories of motor races you have been to. Odin wants to hang out with you and talk about car races.
Car racing. Well, so I noticed somebody mentioned earlier Le Mans, which is the Steve McQueen movie that was kind of, if you're a car guy, that would have been your favorite car racing movie, along with Grand Prix with, what was the guy that used to play, he used to play, not Bat Masterson, another one of those cowboys. So the two movies that I remember growing up were Le Mans and Grand Prix. And they were pretty well done. I would say those have fallen into second and third place between this most recent movie, Ford versus Ferrari. That's my opinion. And I would love to do that. I have seen more motorcycle racing than I had car racing because I raced motorcycles from the time I was about 10 until the time I joined the military. So I did a lot more motorcycle racing than I did car racing.
Corey Jacobs, Cynthia
I didn't
does.
actually, let me qualify that. I never did any car racing. I loved cars.
Let me know when you're done.
I loved cars, but I was a motorcycle racer, not a car racer. Go.
Corey Jacobs, Cynthia does have a blog and a YouTube channel. What's it called? Chasing Forrest?
Chasing Forrest Fenn?
Something
Hang
like
on.
that. We're going to look it up.
We're going to look it up and then
give
we'll
you the
just
link.
post it in the... Christy would know. Chasing Fenn's Treasure. .com. Okay, here's Cynthia's blog. And she also does have a YouTube channel. So here's her blog. You can go there. I don't know what her YouTube channel is. Do you know?
It says Cynthia Meacham, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Cynthia.
It's UM.
Oops. Oh, I'm putting it up there. That's fine. Yeah.
There she is.
There she is. It is under her name.
She's got almost as many subscribers as me.
Oh, go subscribe to Cynthia. She's
subscribe
doing
to me,
some
too.
really filmic kind of stuff right now.
Yeah,
so
she's got some great
go,
stuff.
Go subscribe to her channel.
Oh, there we get some money from 3D Bronze.
So that's, I just posted her YouTube channel. Go ahead.
3D Bronze says, hey, AGK, I created a coupon code for your viewers, good through 12/1/19, December 1st. 10% off site-wide. Coupon code AGKFYI. Best car movie ever, Vanishing Point.
The original one or the follow-up one that was gone in 60 seconds?
I'm guessing the coupon code is just AGK.
Right. So if you guys want to go to 3D Bronze's channel.
3dbronze.com.
It's 3dbronze.com.
And he's got these cool treasure chest thingies on there.
And you use coupon code AB.
You don't get the coin, but you get the box.
AGK. And you can get, what did he say? 10%.
10% off
So
with the coupon code.
go buy something. He's got some really cool stuff there. So,
He does.
and he's sent some of it to us.
That's right. And he's got the necklace. Don't forget the necklace. The
Did I
clasp to the treasure chest.
So I'm going to put that this weekend. I'm going to put that on a nice chain for Shelley, so she can wear it. Mark Donahue was a great race driver, and the reason I liked him is he raced for another one of my heroes, Roger Penske, and between the two of them, they were just amazing. Best.
Davio says
That's,
Rush, Hunt, Lauda rivalry between two Formula One drivers.
Yeah. You know what? I saw that went into the theaters and right out again. It just didn't seem to have a lot of success.
And he
I don't
said
know why.
Kenny Roberts, 1978.
Kenny Roberts. I don't remember him.
I don't know.
So I followed, when I was younger, I followed Formula One, and I followed the pony car races. What were they called? The Can-Am. And then I followed the four-wheel drive. Well, that was Can-Am. The four-wheel drive Chaparrals and McLarens. I just thought those cars
Who
were
won
beautiful.
the drawing from
That's
last week's bid?
Sarah G.
Sarah G.
Sarah G. So Sarah G, if you're watching, send me an email. Send an email to gypsykiss@gmail.com with your shipping address, and I will pop that into the mail this weekend.
Herbie the Love Bug and Christine. All kinds of car movies.
Wow.
Talladega Nights. Yeah.
Oh, Christine.
Okay.
Christine. Do you remember that one?
I didn't see it.
Oh, it was about a 65 Plymouth that had a murderous life of its
Yeah,
own. It
so
was
did-
a
so did
Stephen
Herbie,
King,
but-
yeah.
But Herbie was more funny
Yeah.
than scary.
Talladega
All right,
Nights.
let's move on to the next email.
What was the one with, there was this NASCAR movie with,
My Mother the Car.
NASCAR movie with, dum, 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 dum. How come I don't remember these guys' names?
Da-da,
Yeah, that guy.
da-da,
The guy that
da-da.
married Katie Holmes, and then they got divorced. They had a cute baby, and then they got divorced.
Are you talking about Tom Cruise?
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Okay.
So there's
Katie Holmes?
He did a NASCAR movie that I don't. Was that Talladega Nights? It was
No,
okay.
that was Will Ferrell.
Oh, okay. So
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. So McLaren has a car channel. Cool. Cujo. Now we're down into Cujo.
Days
Okay.
of Thunder.
I don't know where we're going with this. We got to get back to Gypsies. I mean to.
Occam's
Forrest Fenn.
Blade from Skippy. From Skippy. Skippy was. I thought Skippy died. Okay. Have you noticed
Days
that
of Thunder, yeah.
the picture of father at 9 Mile Hole in the centerfold is actually Skippy? Thanks. Pete, a.k.a. Anagram. P.S. Where is Shelley tonight? Here I am.
Anagram.
Father at 9 Mile Hole. He thinks that's Skippy.
So I don't have close-up of these. I guess I could put them under the microscope. Shall I put them under the microscope? So he's saying that guy right there, although it's labeled father, he looks like Skippy, and I would say, so that's his father up above. I would say I don't necessarily agree for two reasons. Number one, Skippy looked like a different soma type. I think he was an ectomorph, maybe an endomorph or a mesomorph. I'm sorry, let me start that over again. Skippy looked like either an endomorph or a mesomorph. That guy in the picture is an ectomorph like Fenn's father, who was an ectomorph until the day he died. In addition to that, if you look real closely, the hat that Fenn's dad is wearing there is the same hat that Fenn's dad is wearing there. So I don't think, I guess I could put it under the microscope. Under the
You
microscope.
gave
it's
your
just gonna be
opinion.
great.
You
All
said,
right.
no, I don't think so.
No, I don't agree with you. Thank you.
Kyle Miner. Toby, you mentioned that you have searched most of New Mexico in the past and said you strongly believe it's not there because you have searched all the areas. Could you have been the 200-foot searcher? I think he's confusing you with Cynthia.
Yeah, that's not Kyle. That's not me. I have never said that I've searched all of New Mexico and that it isn't there. I have searched some of New Mexico and I still believe it's there. But I am not the 200-foot searcher, and the reason is I didn't start searching until 2013, and he made the 200-foot searcher comment prior to that. It was closer. I think it was late 2011 or 2012. And I've never communicated with like that. I've never told him. If he watches my videos, then he knows where I've been. But I've never sent emails talking about where I'm searching or anything like that. So it was definitely somebody
Cynthia
else.
kind of decided she'd looked everywhere she could think to look in New Mexico, but
And that's
she
what-
was not searching at the time that he made the 200-foot
Right.
comment either. So she says she is not the 200-foot searcher either.
Yeah. So yeah, that comment was made long before I got into the search. Okay.
All right, next. Chest is in these 4 states from Rick Hunter. Within the first 2 minutes of the new Ripley's podcast, Forrest Fenn says explicitly that the chest is in New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, or Montana. So what have you got to say to that?
Dale Kuda's trolling me, for God's sakes.
Right? First it's the Great Sand Dunes and what was the other thing we said?
The sharp cabin.
The
So
shark
I have
cabin.
been saying for years. I have been saying ever since 2013 when he converted. So in 2013, when he stopped saying it was north of Santa Fe, he said it was in the Rocky Mountains. And I've been saying ever since then, every time I have that conversation with someone, I would say, by the way, Forrest has never made the following statement: the treasure is in one of 4 states, or the equivalent of, the treasure is in one of 4 states: New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, or Montana. So in this most recent interview that he did with Ripley's Believe It or Not cast, he does, within the first couple of minutes, he says it's in the Rocky Mountains. It's in New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, or Montana. So he finally said something that I said he'd never been. I can't say that anymore.
That's right.
What I can say
He
is
has now
that
said it.
that I can say it wasn't until 2019 that Fenn said it was in one of the 4 treasure states. Prior to that, he never said that.
What is Skippy's name?
Skippy's
name.
name was. I have it. It's on the book that I gave to Jason. It's Junior, isn't it? Isn't it Marvin Fenn Jr.?
Oh, is it? It's possible.
I
I
don't
don't know.
Somebody, ES, where are you when I need you? What's Skippy's birth name? Growth is learning that you can be
that's it.
wrong. Yeah, Tony, I am constantly growing because I spend a lot of time being wrong.
Yay.
Okay, that's it for emails. Let's say.
Okay, I can only go back as far as 7:47. So
Oh,
if you have
geez.
not said anything in the chat room
This would be a good time to do it.
since
That's as
before
far as I can go back.
7:47 this evening, go ahead and say something now so I don't miss you.
Okay, take it from the top. I'll take it from the bottom.
Okay. We have K-Pro, Captain Marvel, Jack, DB Cooper, Corey Jacobs, Blue Fox, The Sassy 1962, Kyle Miner, DB Cooper, Mr. T, Davio.
May I say something? Blue Fox says, did you see that K-Pro said Forrest answered the question about the lead searcher differently than you in documentary? Also, other 2 questions.
She actually said that she agreed with Toby.
So the question is, did she release that information?
No, she said that she agreed with Toby and that Forrest Fenn had said something to her about it and she was going to talk more about it on Monday on her show.
Oh. Okay. So I guess we strongly recommend you watch K-Pro on her show when she talks
And
about
get
her
the
documentary.
goods.
And get the goods.
That's right. We have Boxhound, Rockfish, Christopher Robin, Evan
So
Penn.
Jack says a Gypsy's Kiss. So Montana lost its 25% chance status. Yes, Jack. After after Forrest had the conversation with that journalist from Fool's Gold, the journalist that wrote Fool's Gold, he sent him to the location that I was looking. So I'm not going to go look in a place where Forrest is sending. See, he's trolling me again. I'm not going to go to a location. I'm not going to look for treasure in a location where Fenn is sending journalists.
Harry Callahan, Tony Rusi,
I am back.
LR, Swami, sitting here petting my unicorn, talking to Santa, trying to catch the tooth fairy, and I'm the lead searcher.
Yeah. So who's that?
Swami.
That's a good. Sarah Kinzer says, "Happy Thanksgiving to you too, and to everyone watching tonight." Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
The same to you and Brad. We hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. And I don't know, they must be getting some weather up there in Pagosa
I
Springs
bet.
and Chile.
Yeah. Not important.
So
Important enough for me to say your name.
only take audio and video of Forrest Fenn.
Wayne
not what others say.
Ross.
Yeah. So I'm going to agree with K-Pro. Your best source of information is either audio or video of Forrest Fenn speaking the words. Other than that, the further away you get from Forrest Fenn, the less
The more
less
you're going to get biased
value
opinions
you're going to find
in the mix.
Yeah. Evan Penn says, "I think Forrest Fenn watches Toby shows, then says the opposite just to troll Toby. What a scoundrel. He is, isn't he?" No, I don't think he does that. I don't think he has time to watch our shows.
Michael Wimmer. Odin is here, of course. Denise Bagley. Jungle Cruiser. Kiwis Road. He shortened his name because we only ever said Kiwis Road anyway. It's like Kiwis Road, My Life Story.
Oh, okay. That's good. So Kiwis Road says, "Didn't the place Forrest shared with a journalist the same place he shared in his book?" I think, I don't remember him talking specifically. I mean, it was in the West Yellowstone area, but he was very specific about the area north of Brown's Hole, not Brown's Hole, Baker's Hole, and then west of that towards Hebgen Lake. So, yeah.
Stacy Harwood. Alice says Alice.
K-Pro, but Toby might be right on in some
They're
cases.
changing the guard. At
So I
Buckingham
will,
Palace.
K-Pro did a great job of eliciting information from Forrest, and I'm sure when she's ready to share that with you guys, she'll share that with you guys.
Rockfish.
So Blue Fox still waiting for Dale to post his interviews with Forrest. Does anyone know why? Why what? Why we're still waiting? That's up to Dale's very judicious about how he releases information. He does it in his own time and at his own pace. So I'm not gonna.
Anyway, Jim Siri is here. Jim, I'm wearing your necklace.
Thanks for that, Jim.
Yeah.
So Kyle Miner says, "AGK Toby, I'm not mistaken mistaking you for someone else. Our visit with Forrest Fenn at his home and the AGK origin story, that video is the one where you say you don't think it's in New Mexico around 8:50. Then I suggest we pack you up and get you out of here.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so stick around for a little while. Enjoy the conversation. Shelley needs to get going because it's starting to stick on the roads and on their driveway, and they have a very steep driveway where Shelley comes from. So we're going to get her home. Kevin, she's on her way. So
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
We'll leave the road.
I'll see you on Friday if the weather is good enough to get here.
So we'll leave the room open, and as soon as I get Shelley out in her car and taken care of, I'll come back and we can finish tonight's show. All right? So just be good.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. Toby will be right back.
Okay. Shelley's on her way, and I got snowflakes all over my glasses. So she's on her Kev. She's on her way home. And it's starting to snow here. So if I know if it's snowing here, she's getting it worse at her place. All right. So let me just make sure there was no questions in the room that I missed, and then we'll go on to text messages and see if there are any there. What is Skippy's name? Davio asked that. Did anybody remember Skippy's name? I kind of remember it being Marvin Fenn Jr. So, but I'm not sure. Yes, Jack, as far as I'm concerned, Montana has lost its 25 and back to 100% in New Mexico. Did you see that? Okay, well, to you two, that was I think that's all the questions. Oh, you're right. I should have spun a jazz tune while I walked away. Huh? Yeah, that would be good. It is the Get Smart hallway. So we are getting some, Kevin, it was sticking on the, just on top. I had put out my trash cans this morning for pickup, and they're still out there and sticking on top of the trash cans. So we are getting some snow. That means you're probably getting more. But like I said, she's on her way, so she should be fine. Tell her to text me when she gets home. Make sure she's safe. Gypsy Kiss said there weren't. Oh, sassy. There weren't any questions that were legitimate. Okay, well, thank you. All right, let's go to. I got a couple of text messages. Let's go to text. Okay, text messages. First one is Happy Thanksgiving from the Kinsers. Oh, it's from Sarah and Brad. She said that earlier in the room, so she just sent us a text message. And the same to you, Sarah and Brad. We hope you guys are enjoying your Thanksgiving as much as we plan to tomorrow. Because what we're going to do is Kevin and Shelley are coming over, as is Jason Michael. My daughter Sean usually has her mother to her house for Thanksgiving dinner, so they'll be doing that. And then, of course, the girls are on the East Coast, but I will talk with all of them via FaceTime tomorrow in the morning. Let's see. This is from area code Jeff Grajic. I watched a Nightline video a while back and wanted to know your take on the statement he made about grizzly bears, and do you think he hid the treasure in a place where they are a concern? I did not. I know he said it, and people read a lot into that. What he did know is that people were looking for the treasure in locations that were that could be said as dangerous, including places like the Rio Grande. So he warned us away from the Rio Grande. He warns us away from cliffs. I think the comment about the grizzly bear was just another warning that if you are searching in an area where there are grizzly bears, take some bear spray with you, which works, 87.2% of the time. The other 11.7% the grizzly, or 8% the grizzly bear eats you. So so I don't Jeff, I did not read that as an indication as to the treasure was where grizzly bears were. I think, as a matter of fact, just the opposite. He's always been very cautious about putting people at risk. Don't go in places where an 80-year-old man couldn't go. Don't be climbing cliffs. Don't go in the Rio Grande at spring runoff. So he was just warning us against searching when we were in areas where there are grizzly bears. Not necessarily, just be safe. He did it again about a week and a half ago when he reminded us that it's wintertime and that we should stop searching. So let's see if we've got any voicemails. Got a couple. So let's see. Phone is connected. Let's see what we got here. So Arlington. It's from Arlington, Texas, and they seem to be having trouble with their phone. I'm going to page it forward. It sounds like they never did get a message out. Okay, let's go back. Trash that and go back one from Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah, I was just going to call to let you know you might want to look at the missing 411 because the last two guys that died out looking for the treasures matches exactly what he says. And the guns and that don't help any of these people. So the best thing they said to carry is a GPS deal. They're about $200, but you can get instant help. It tracks you where you're at. The guy Pilatus says that's the best thing you can take out there with you. I know I'm not going out there without anything like that after watching all this stuff. All right, I thought you might want to mention that because, I mean, the two people who disappeared looking for the treasure fit that perfectly, what he says. Like there's a guy found in the river, they're always found in the water. Everybody just thinks they drowned, but that ain't what happened. All right, thanks.
So that would be hearsay because the evidence was that they did fall in the water and drown. But you're not going to find a GPS within reach for $200 if you want. Garmin recently bought the InReach Explorer, and they've incorporated that into their GPS systems, but that's around a $350 to $400 GPS plus. You have to pay a monthly subscription depending on what kind of services you require. So if you want to have the kind of service that you can do an emergency call and a helicopter is going to come and get you, that's going to run from $22 a month to around $75 a month because you can also use it to send text messages. But again, that's a much more expensive GPS, and what you're looking for is the Garmin GPS with the InReach feature. You can also get helicopter insurance for, I think it's a 1-year fee of $95, and that way, when the helicopter does come to rescue, for I don't know how many know this, but if you're rescued by a helicopter and that helicopter belongs to a public entity like, say, the National Forest Service, you're going to have to eventually pay for the cost of that helicopter. So you can buy helicopter insurance through the InReach program. So I just missed, it looks like a super chat from, maybe that was... So Jeffrey says $5. Thank you for the super chat, Jeffrey. That was very kind of you, and he agrees on the Grizzly Bear statement. Happy Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's all for text messages. And did we actually do that? So let's open up the... So I did get a text message while I was looking at voice. I actually got a couple of text messages. So the first one says, this is from Sunray from San Diego. It says, "Hi, Toby. I posted the question in chat room. I was asking if the house if Brown has to be a place that will be around in 100 years, not just a random cabin. Don't you agree?" So first of all, let's make a correction. It's not the House of Brown. It's the home of Brown. And if you look at the difference in definition between home and house, home has a much broader definition. So it could be the home of something brown like the grizzly bear, for example, or the home of the beaver population, or the home of the brown trout. So it's not, first of all, you've got to make sure that when you're asking yourself the question, you're not using the word house. It's the word home, which, if you look in the dictionary, has a different definition than the word house. That's the first thing. Secondly, if you're not looking for a cabin, you're right. You shouldn't be looking for a cabin because the likelihood that cabin or that, quote, house of Brown, starting to sound like a Canadian, the House of Brown is going to be in 1,000 years or even 100 years. That's probably unlikely. The home of Brown has to be, because it's such a significant clue in the poem, it has to be with something with greater longevity. So I think we agree on that. But again, don't start with a House of Brown. You're already making a mistake because the house has a completely different definition. Area code 703, Virginia. I used to have a 703 phone. 703-371. Yeah. Toby, Forrest said wind was the most likely element to affect the chest. He said it already, probably wet, so that would not affect it. Anything I can think of that is greater than I can think of is the Great Sand Dunes. What is your take on this comment? So you have to do it again in the perspective of, in Fenn's perspective. If your treasure chest weighs 42 pounds and it's 10 by 10 by 5, so its volume in comparison to its size is very great. And if you don't believe me, as I recommend often, go fill a 5-gallon bucket that you get at Home Depot with water and see how much wind is required to blow that bucket over. And then remember that the object is only 10 inches or 5 inches high. So it's very low to the ground. The likelihood that wind could actually affect it in a very real way is not very likely. On the other hand, if you consider all the other things that wind can affect trees. We've seen them pull them out of the ground. It can affect branches. It can affect leaves. So I think when Fenn's, if he said that, I don't actually recall him saying that, but the implication is that. Let me see. I think that was Shelley. Let me make sure she's home. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. So it could be wind that affects the treasure in an indirect way, a blown over tree, leaves, etc., etc. I don't think it's very. You would have to have a heck of a windstorm in order for it to affect a 5-inch high box that's probably very close to the ground that weighs 42 pounds. So that's my opinion on the matter. Okay, now I'm going to open up the phone lines because we're done with text messages. If you'd like me to call you, if you call in and you get sent a voicemail, because it will do that, it'll ring and then go to voicemail. Just send me a text message and I'll call. It was saying call me back, and I'll try and call you back if we don't get too busy. But I'm going to open up these phone lines first. Okay, phone lines are open. 202-815-1171. Call me and let's talk about the Fenn Treasure. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye on the chat room. And remember, if you want to reach out, one way to do it is on the text messages, but in the chat room, precede your comment with @A Gypsy's Kiss, so it highlights it for me, and rather than just swinging by, I actually get to see it. So, yeah, I didn't know. So somebody mentioned earlier that Christy was going to talk about her interview. I'm going to strongly recommend you wait until she has that show and she talks about how the interview went. And then we'll all agree on what Fenn had to say then. So, road conditions. Oh, that was from Kevin. Okay. I will open that in a little bit because I don't plan to leave my house. I'm cooking here tomorrow, and it's supposed to start raining around noon tomorrow, so I can't imagine that the snow is going to stick. So there we go. From Bell Center, Ohio. Hey, you've reached Toby on a Gypsy's Kiss. What's your name and what you calling about?
My name's Michael Wimmer.
Hey, Michael Wimmer. How are you doing? Great to hear from you.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, it has been.
Hey, just quickly, what's the story with him, it being a burial spot for Forrest Fenn? Is he still going to go and die there? Or is that a dead issue?
So,
no pun intended.
First of all, he never described it as a burial spot. He always described it as a place where he would put down the treasure and wrap his body around it and lay down in a more, Native American sense. Native Americans don't bury their dead. But there was a point at which, and I think it was in an interview probably a couple of years back, at least, if not more, when he said that would likely not happen anymore for a variety of reasons, including, I imagine, he's too old to make that. That would be the first thing. The second thing, he could never do it without leaving some kind of trail. And the third thing is, it is in a way that his family would want to say goodbye to him. Imagine if one day he's disappeared and leaves a message behind that he's going to go die by the treasure, and he leaves Peggy and his daughters and his grandchildren and all of that to go figure out what he's doing. So I think that's the biggest reason. I think he's past the stage in his life where he feels like that's an important thing to do. I'm sure, because he said it, that at one point in his life he felt like that was something he wanted to do. But as he grew older and wiser, he realized that wasn't something he could do. As I said, for three reasons. Number one, he'd have to he would leave his family to deal with the consequences of him disappearing like that. He's going to be 90 next year, and he would leave a trail. I mean, he would have to drive a car someplace. Even if he did it alone, that car would be found. How far can you walk from your car when you're 90 years old? So he would leave a trail directly to the treasure. So I can only say that I recall him saying this, but I feel confident that he's given up on that idea.
Okay. So that, by logical progression, then it can be more in a public area where people are going by quite often. Because as I was looking even today, I was thinking, where would this treasure be that, his body wouldn't smell?
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So I was just a little confused. We talked about it in the room a little bit, but okay. Well, happy Thanksgiving. I won't take up any more time.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you saying. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours as well. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, again, as Michael suggested, the idea that he go out, die around the treasure, allow his body to decompose. When you imagine that there are people within 500 feet of people, not searchers, within 500 feet, and searchers within 200 feet, and who knows how many times they've been that close since then. And then the other thing is he's got to leave a trail. He's got to drop off. I mean, what does he do? Take a 90-year-old trip hitchhiking to his favorite fishing spot and then walk from there? No, he's going to leave a trail. And that trail is going to be very, very obvious. I'm sure it sounded like a good idea. That's why even the concept of leaving the last clue in one of those parking lots, whether it was Northern Arizona University or the Denver Museum, you can't have done that, whether you left the cars or not, without having left some kind of trail. The only way he doesn't leave a trail is not ever having gone back there after he left a treasure there. That's the only way. He can never go back. He can never go back to either visit or be with a treasure without leaving a trail. Hey, it's Davio. Let's see what Davio's got to say now that he's in Denver and experiencing the weather. Hey, Davio, how's the weather up there?
Well, it snowed very much a couple days ago, or I guess it ended yesterday, and now it's just kind of like frozen and gnarly.
Yeah,
So,
that's the only
big
bad
jump.
thing about up north is that when it does snow, it turns immediately to very slick ice. Around here,
Yeah.
we get snow and then it melts and goes into the drain. Up there, it just turns into a big bag of ice. So, do you feel like it was a good decision to? Oops, did we lose Davio? We lost him. It's another call. So we lost Davio. Davio, call back. Hey, Will. Is this Will?
You know what to do.
Hey,
You
Will.
know who it is. Hey, holiday season.
Yeah. So, are you all prepared for Thanksgiving tomorrow?
No,
Oh, why not? Did you only have one day here, brother?
I'm missing something.
Well, let me guess. The turkey?
Exactly is not the answer. Multiple questions. What is a turkey?
A turkey is the University of Virginia. I'm sorry, not University of Virginia. It's the Virginia Tech mascot.
West Virginia?
Virginia Tech mascot is a turkey. The
Keep that
gobblers.
in my mind. Okay,
Yeah.
A turkey is a pheasant.
Oh, it
As if
is?
It was a hope.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I didn't know. They're related.
This is what it do when you talking. You know the deal.
Yeah.
It's weird.
it's Wheel.
I love your
Real.
simulcast, your podcast.
Yeah, I'm
missed
sorry.
out, and I was
We had to send Shelley home
Okay.
today because of the weather. So, but you're probably not
the
experiencing
weather.
that. Yeah, we
I
got.
love you, Toby. Niners. I read weather. What am I? Multiple questions.
Okay, what are you?
A, a doctor. B, something like Finn's father, teacher.
A teacher.
C,
Okay.
firefighter.
C, firefighter.
Now you have to tell me what type of firefighter that I am.
Oh, you're a, I would say an urban.
No, that we say.
Oh, okay. What? Go ahead. Give me a hint.
Only one answer.
Oh, okay.
Multiple questions to the world.
Yeah.
Marshaller. A. I
Yeah.
can do be on the pad.
Yeah.
Structure.
Yeah.
B. C. Wildland.
Ooh. I don't know. That's a tough one. My first reaction is
or D. None of the above.
Oh, okay. Well, see, now you're
Tell the
teasing me.
world.
What kind of?
I'm gonna send you a gift.
Okay, I look forward to it. What kind of gift?
Oh, it's going to be in metals.
A medal?
Yes, in metals. Matter of fact, on the NASDAQ, the American way. I talk to you. Love you.
Hey, love you
See
too.
soon.
You all have a
Man.
great Thanksgiving. Really enjoy yourselves. Go get that turkey.
Enjoy the Lord. The Lord is good even when he's angry.
Well, he's angry at me a lot, so I guess I should be grateful that he's good.
I'm not finished. Santa Claus. Do you
Oh,
believe
okay.
in Santa Claus?
I don't. Not. I'm too old. You know.
I'll call you back.
I
Love
quit.
you.
I
Santa Claus
quit.
is a sidekick.
All right.
What is his name?
Wait. Say that again.
I'll call you back. Take the next customer.
That's always fun. I don't know who's more fun talking to, Will or Davio. Davio, I'm going to call you back because we lost you. So I'm going to call Davio back here. So
we be talking to Toby.
Yeah. Hey, go walk around your house until you find some cell phone signal.
Well, that was just a straight, what do you call it? Sprint. We're going to cut you off kind of thing. That's just what they do.
Oh, okay.
So I've got good Wi-Fi. I'm 20 feet from it. We're in good shape.
Yeah. See, that's what I do when I'm here in my house because my Verizon signal isn't the best. I do have 2 to 3 bars, but I just use voice over IP. That's the easiest way.
There you go. All right, I've got a concept for you here to think about.
All right, hit me.
Dig it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, the lead searcher has been coming up a lot tonight and all kinds of stuff like that. So
well, that's because I always say there's no lead
up...
searchers, so go ahead.
Right, okay, well, it's a groovy concept. I love it. So here's the idea. So, if you're in the right place and you look quickly down and you see something that is a chapter in the book, that would be confirmation you're in the right place. If you also see something that's in the rock that is on page 7, on the last word of page 7, actually it's the left word, if you see the words that are in the book on the rocks around you, would that be a confirmation you're in the right place? Based on, by the way, the page numbers as coordinates off of your compass.
So
now, yes.
I guess what I'd have to say is if I was seeing all of that, that would give me an indication that I'm on the right track. But a lot of it would be on my sense of confirmation bias, right? Because I know there are folks who have YouTube channels who see imagery in the rocks who believe that they are within a certain distance of the treasure as well. And that's kind of the problem with that theory is as long as each of us who claim to be lead searchers are... Well, go ahead.
Right, but this is a different perspective, isn't it? I'm saying I have a photograph, a page number that goes with, like, for instance, page 32. It says he's playing with slabs. So I have that at 32 degrees. And then I keep coming all the way around to all the numbers, and I'm finding words and paragraphs that equal that. I also have, the blades. You look quickly down, and I have got chapter 20. I have found how all of these things coordinate to a point where I can actually show you in photographs. And if you saw this and you agreed this was really significant, that this was convincing to you, compelling, would you be willing to say that if it was compelling to you? I mean, say you don't believe it. I think it's terrible. Like, your normal thing that you do. But if it looked compelling, would you actually say to the world, yes, it looks, compelling? I see where you're going with there.
Yeah, no. I don't have any problem saying. Now, the problem with me expressing any idea that's compelling is, at that point, it's just my opinion. And I am one of the few searchers who admits they have no idea where the treasure is. So you're asking...
Exactly!
You're asking
it comes down to presentation, doesn't it? So that's what I've been practicing on all the folks around here.
Yeah.
To create a 1.5 to 2 minute presentation that shows, how this particular part. It's not the whole thing from nuts to bolts 1 to 9. I'm only showing from like 7 to 9, or I guess it would be 6 to 9. The last 3 parts.
Yeah.
Right. So because I don't think it's wise to put everything together in one place. Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it would be fun to get your opinion. I am dying for your opinion, and Shelley's, and your son, and Shelley's husband. I think that would be a blast. I don't want you to put it on the air, but I want your opinion. I want you to say, "Oh, he's out of his bloody mind, and he deserves the fucking the spaced out soundtrack that I get with my
all right." All right,
which is great.
Let me address all of that. So I get that request daily. Right?
I know.
I get a request from people. I get requests from people who say, all I want you to do is listen to my theory and give your impression of my theory. So here's what I've done. I've got a guy building a phone app that you'll be able to download, and you will be able to call me, and you will be able to tell me. You'll get an hour of my time, and you'll be able to call me, and I will give you my opinion on your solution.
Did you say an hour? As far as it kind
Yeah, no. I said an hour.
An hour?
Mm-hmm.
1 hour of your time? That's crazy. I thought I would give you like 2 minutes. I thought that's too long. Because to me, it's like I'm trying to sell snow to a snowman here.
Yeah.
In other words, my thing has got to be, succinct. It's got to be compelling. It's got to be convincing. It's got to hit all these points that the hospitality of what he's trying to do. And I'll give away, really big points, which you'll keep to yourself, which I know you guys would do, to make this more compelling.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I would just be curious if you would look at it, because if you look at it and you like it, well, then I would shoot it off the top for it.
Well, what do you think Forrest is going to do?
Well, he's got no time for anything. So, I mean, if he's
No. I mean,
the
simple fact of the matter is that Forrest is not going to give you a direction one way or the other. He can't do that.
No, of course not. No, but I don't want to waste his time either. So, in other words, if we have a community, so let's do it this way. What if I do this? Well, we're having fun, Toby. We're being imaginative, crazy, off the chain.
And that's why I continue to take your calls, Davio.
Thank you. So here we are. So let's say we do this just for the YouTube community and the Vimeo. Davio does this video, which I send out to you and yours, and you guys look at it and you go, "Oh my God, I think Davio's got this crazy guy. I think you buddy will have to." I send it out to K-Pro, Cal, and Dent, and Sasha, and everybody says, "Oh my God, I really see his point. Good grief, that is really something there, Davio." Wouldn't that be fun? How interesting would that be? That would be kind of like a setup for spring, for the mount. I mean, I think that would be an interesting conversation to put out there.
Well, then,
isn't it a trip to think about?
Wait a minute. You have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to tell the world, Toby. That's the bloody point.
So you just want to...
That's the point.
You just want me to listen to your theory. Is that what you're saying?
Right, but the fun part is if you think it's true, if you think it's spot on, if you say, "Holy cow, this guy's the lead searcher," if you want to call it that, or if you say, "I think his theory is spot on," I think that's more. You will never hear me identify anyone who doesn't have the treasure in their possession as the lead searcher. The lead searcher. I agree. The only lead searcher is the man or woman that can provide evidence that they have the treasure. Yeah. Fully agree with that, Toby. No doubt. But we're playing with that concept. Isn't this a blast? So, I mean, the lead searcher idea comes from that there's enough information that somebody knows they have it's got like 8 parts of it solved or 7 parts of it figured out. So what I'm doing is I'm sending you a video that's I'm going to try like hell to keep it like 3 minutes. That's my point, right? And send it to you guys. You guys keep it to yourself, and then you voice your opinion.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a blast.
All right. Well, you mean voice
Don't you think that's fun?
But you said no. So far it isn't, because I've heard so many in the past. I don't know how long have we been on the air. In the past 3 years that we've been on the air, I'm willing to bet we have received thousands of theories, all of whom want our opinion on them. My opinion. I shouldn't include Shelley in this. My opinion on the matter of their treasure hunt.
That's exactly right.
Here's 2 things that I find.
You are the big daddy from the You're the big daddy from the CIA that everybody wants to see.
Here's the thing that I find.
Say about it.
Here's the thing that I find the most interesting of all. Of those thousands of theories that have been shared with us, I have yet to see 2 that are anywhere near the same. Doesn't that bother you?
Exactly.
Doesn't that bother you that no 2 theories of all the ones that I've heard, probably all the ones that you've heard? I mean, how many theories have you heard in your time in the search? And of all those theories, which 2?
I'm fully relating to what I've gone through to what you're experiencing with being thrown at you.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. I mean, this is a way a community gets to voice their imaginative opinion and or theory about such an innocuous thing. I think it's pretty cool.
Well, you're
the snowman getting pelted by snowballs. So I'm trying to offer you a party platter of information that isn't overwhelming and going somewhere. A quick video, lots of visuals. Because here's the point, Toby, is I have a place that I can tie into points on the book.
Yeah.
So it's the visual that I'm showing you, along with keyword and other points that I have found, that ties it together that will be compelling.
Yeah.
So I'll put it. YouTube, send you the link.
All right.
You watch it with those people, and then call me before you go on the air. And I mean, if you think it's really something, call me. If it's terrible, then go on the air and say, well, I think it's crazy. What I thought. This is just another walk in the park. Oh, good Lord. Hibernate, Tammyjo. Whatever. Come up with funny stuff.
All right. So we're over at 10 minutes. Wrap it up in 30 seconds.
That's right. See? Attention span. 3 minutes. I think that's what I got to do.
10 minutes. I gave you 10 minutes. You got 30 seconds.
No, for me and you, I got to keep this video that I make for you. I've got to keep it down under 5.
Agreed.
So I'm going to shoot the 3.
All right.
Dig it. Okay.
I'm looking forward to the link.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
You betcha.
Stay out of the weather.
Much love to the world, baby. Everybody, have some love. Have some cheer. There you go. Denver loves everybody. Ciao. Much love.
You take care. Bye-bye. So we did get a call from the Philippines, and I think that's the young lady that's called us in the past. Unfortunately, we were having a conversation with Davia. So somebody in the room said, "So this channel is for entertainment." I'm going to share something with you. So if you see right here, this is the category that we position ourselves in. Our category is entertainment. That's how we see ourselves. That's how you should see yourself. No caller ID. We do not answer calls with no caller ID. They go straight to voicemail. Starting point, the stories, film is on channel, helps combine perspective. Oh, I don't know why that. I'm going to go ahead and show that because I don't know why it hit that Kiwis Road. No caller ID. Seriously, we do not answer phone calls without that caller ID. So phone lines are open, 202. Oops, let me go back to the full screen here. 202-815-1171. So join us for the conversation. Tell us, oh, here we are. Hey, hang on, let me get to right there. Hey, Philippines, you've reached Toby Younis of Gypsy Kiss. Hi. Hello.
Hi, Toby. How are you?
Fine,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too. What day is it there in the Philippines? Are you already celebrating Thanksgiving, or does it go the other way?
There's some people that do, yeah. And we have a lot of expats, so they do celebrate.
Oh,
yeah.
right. So, yeah, the Philippines aren't exactly celebrating the landing of the Pilgrims on
Right.
the Plymouth shore.
Yeah.
So, tell me, first of all, remind me of your name. I apologize.
Sorry?
Remind me of your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Laura.
Laura, that's right. Okay. Laura, so how are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I am good. Well, just because it's search season, it's research season again.
Yeah.
A lot of information's been coming out, and I'm looking forward to the one where K-Pro and Mike are going to be sharing from the documentary, and Cynthia also is going to share something, I guess. So that's pretty cool.
So,
Pretty cool.
so I've been really busy the past week or so, ever since I got back from DC.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what has been said about that. I didn't realize that, is it the documentary coming out, or are they talking about something else? So what is K-Pro and what have K-Pro and Cynthia said about that?
Well, from last I watched, they don't really know when the documentary is coming out exactly.
No, nobody ever does. No documentary
but
ever. No
Right.
documentary.
K-Pro and Mike can correct me, but I know that they said something to the effect of they might be sharing some video clips from the documentary about Forrest and Douglas Preston talking about something or answering something, and they'd rather that everyone watch than them tell us. So it would be more straightforward than that.
Well, that certainly is Mike and Christie's kind of theory of operations. They don't feel like certain elements should be the purview of one or two individuals. They feel like they should need to share that with the community, which is how we feel. We just don't have the kind of information that they have. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to say.
Yeah, and I think Cynthia is going to be sharing something not shared before statement. I don't know, something. So that's going to be pretty cool for Monday night.
Oh, so it's this coming Monday. So Christy is asking me to call her, so I'll call her after you and I talk. So what else do you have?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I was just looking over the poem. Nothing much else to do. But, you know, I don't know, dissecting it a little bit further, first stanza seems like he's just saying he's going in there alone. Begin it where warm waters halt up until the blaze seems like the 9 clues.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
Look quickly down those last 3 remaining statements. It seems like he's saying that wherever it is that you find it or where the treasure is, you'd be better off just secreting it away out of there than alerting the masses.
Yeah.
So it might speak to the kind of land that it's on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Marvel Gaze and
what
Terry
laws
Scans.
govern it. So.
Yeah. So Shelley's in the
Yeah.
chat room, and she just noticed that
And-
I couldn't remember your name, so she's chiding me for not having remembered that your name was
Yeah.
Laura.
No problem. And so why is it I must go? That stanza, you know, that pretty much just seems like concerning the law of trove. I don't know. It might just be explaining it a little bit further. If Forrest Fenn happens to not be around anymore when the treasure is found, that seems like to help the searcher once it's been found. The last stanza, that's where I'm really stuck. Aside from begin it where warm waters halt, it seems like it's describing the place.
So, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Sure. I am 35.
So it is very likely you have not written your last will and testament?
I actually do.
Oh, you do?
I have my last will and testament.
All right. Well, then that's very wise for you to have done that. So
it just so happens I'm a single mom, and so I think it's very important for me that in terms of my assets and what I have in my business, that's very important for my son to have, just in case I could be gone tomorrow, you know.
So in that last will and testament, do you recall anything about the first couple of paragraphs where you claim that you are relatively sane and that you know what you're doing and you're not being forced into doing this?
Yeah, to that effect. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the final paragraphs, you transfer the title of the things that you own, that you claim that you own, to the people who you care about the most, or who you think should deserve
Right.
it. Right. Well, here's what I'm going to recommend. We did a video a while back and dissected the poem. And after dissecting it, we came to the conclusion that it was written like a last will and testament. So the first paragraph is the establishment of sanity and ownership, right? I know what I know what I'm doing, and I have the right to do it, and it belongs to me, so I have this right to do it. The clues, as he said more often than not, are in stanzas 2, 3, and the first half of 4. Then after that, he spends a long time establishing that you are the individual that found it. You were in the cold, you were in the wood, you were doing all these things. And as a result, you recovered the treasure by having followed the clues. Therefore, because you have recovered the treasure, he's granting you title to that treasure. So the first paragraph establishes sanity and ownership, and the last paragraph and a half establishes that you've gone through the effort, you've earned the right to claim title to the gold, and so he gives it to you. So if you read it in the same way, if you read it in the same way as you would a last will and testament, legally in a high quality of metaphor and poetry, he does the same thing as the last will and testament does.
Right. I think once this treasure is found by whoever, the problem will be that because the poem has been so vague for us, I hope that the poem will work in their favor with how it's translated when they do decide to share that they've found it and go through that process, seeing as we're already having a hard time pinning down what each word means. I really do hope that the finder, this will help in their favor. I guess it'll depend on their lawyer and how they go about using those words and define them. But
the advantage is that he's put it into the public domain, so everybody knows the rules of the game effectively, right? Attorneys will look at that, and I have yet to hear an attorney disagree that it looks like it's written like a last will and testament. And as a matter of fact, we have attorneys visit here all the time. I would have to assume that that's how he wrote it, and that he used a last will and testament does not have to be 20 pages long. A last will and testament can be 3 paragraphs. I'm of sound mind, and I'm choosing to do this. Here's what I have, and here's who it goes to, and they deserve it for the following reason. So I think he's just done a great job, and which is why it might have taken him 15 years from 2 perspectives. Number 1, to ensure that he covered all the legal bases, and number 2, then he did it in a metaphorical way that made it difficult in stanzas 2, 3, and a half of 4. If you look at stanza 1 and then the last half of 4, I'm sorry, 4, 5, and 6. There are no metaphors there. He's very clear. If you're the person.
Right.
It
is very clear. That's the thing. I think it's so clear, but again, because we're trying to figure it out, it's vague to the point where you're just trying to figure out which of those words, or I guess the nouns in particular, could be helping to describe the location, at least in a general sense, especially the last stanza. That particular phrase of "if you are brave and in the woods," seems like it's pointing to something, and it would become ultra specific once that place is figured out. But right now, it's practically vague, and it could be anything.
See, I don't see that. I think the only thing that is vague and metaphorical are the actual what he claims to be the 9 clues from begin at where warm water salt to look quickly down your quest to cease. I think other than that, it's poetic.
Those clues are.
Although it's very poetic,
very metaphorical.
Yeah, I agree.
The vague part, the vague part would just be what those words mean and how they were used.
Yeah.
But metaphorical, I think that would be geared towards like where warm water's halt, and those particular clues could be metaphorical. But being stuck on Braven in the woods, it's not metaphorical to me. But I think vague in the sense of what the usage of the word is and what that points to. That's all. I think it's straightforward, but just vague in the sense of use, how the words were used and defined in the poem, at least.
Where is it?
Yeah,
that,
I could be wrong, totally wrong, but that's where I'm stuck.
All right. Well, I think the fact that he starts talking about you in that last 2.5 stanzas is you in the sense that you are now the recoverer of that treasure.
Right. Oh, well. Well, that's where I'm at. And I'm looking forward to Monday with K-Pro, Cal, and Cynthia. And I wish everyone, and you, Toby, and Shelley, happy Thanksgiving. And again, thank you for your time.
Oh, and
your input and advice.
Well, I'm glad. I hope we are being helpful and not just confusing the matter. But thank you for calling in.
You guys are.
Right.
You know, helpful in the sense of, you know, we're a community and we're the only ones that kind of listen to each other and don't look at each other like we're super crazy for looking for this treasure, and doing a back and forth of ideas and opinions is always helpful to keep a healthier mindset about, oh, I didn't think about that, or, you know, or if that's been talked about, you know. So I think that's good. I think that's very helpful to the community, at least to the ones who are receptive to it. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you see it that way, and we try to be helpful. We don't always claim to be right, but we do try to be helpful. So.
Well, the only one that's going to be right is whoever finds it.
There we go. That's kind of our line.
It's a free fall.
That's why we can confidently say we do not know where this treasure is. So.
That's true.
That's the only thing that we say with confidence.
Me too. I don't know either. So
don't know where it is.
I'm in the same boat. All right. Thanks for your time, Toby. Have a good night.
It was nice talking to you, and thank you for calling all the way from the Philippines to talk with us. We appreciate
again for picking up my call. Thank you.
You have a good evening, or a good day in your case.
All right, bye. You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye. Oh, thank you. Bye.
Laura from the Philippines. I'm going to have to remember that it is he should call it. So let me. So I've turned the phone off. I'm going to call Christy so we can get this all straightened out here. Because she's apparently said some things that like I said, I haven't had a chance to check anybody else's videos out because I've been so busy between the traveling and getting back and being sick and getting ready for the Thanksgiving holidays. So let's talk to Christy, and then we'll call it a night.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, thank you. So apparently I missed some big announcement or some kind of announcement, or what is going on?
Yes, it was ground shattering, but we went impromptu last night. It wasn't our Monday Thursday show. We were traveling Monday, so we decided to go on impromptu last night and kind of give some updates on what we're going to be doing for the next couple of months. So that's kind of what everybody's referencing. But you know how we do it. We talk a little bit of content and then we jibber jabber for a couple of hours. So I'm sure you didn't have time to watch the couple of hours. You guys had your VIP stuff going on last night. So, but that's what everybody's kind of chitter-chattering about tonight. So I can give the 30-second synopsis if you would like.
I would please like that so that I at least know what they're talking about here. I don't know how to address it.
Yeah. So here's what we've decided. I have met with Alan, who you had met, and we have a strategy for the documentary / the interview that we had with both Forrest and Douglas.
Okay.
With that has left some, so there are some things that we absolutely know that we will have in, meaning quotes from Forrest and Douglas. We have some things that are kind of on the bubble that we know may or may not be included. And then we know some things that are not going to be included, but things that we know that will be informational or of interest to the search community. So what we decided to do is start a Monday series that on Mondays, and this is going to be on my channel, Hint of Riches. I am Kitchen Sink Kevin. So on my side, I'm going to be talking about all other things. So on Monday nights, we're going to bring either quotes or something from the collection, which I'll talk about in a second. But quotes that we know that aren't going to be in the initial documentary, but that we think will be really informational or something that just might be of interest to a kitchen sink Kevin, not a poem purist type person.
Right.
Cal's still going to do his Thursday nights. I'm going to go over on his channel, and he's going to kind of be a little bit more pure to the poem, but we're going to go a different way on my channel, which is Hint of Riches. Some people said, you have a channel? Yes, I have a channel. It's called Hint of Riches, and we're going to go to different quotes and then this collection that I'll talk about in a second. So the first one is going to be on Monday. It is one that actually Cynthia has some additional information on, and I've already talked with her, and she said, could I please come on and talk a little bit more to what I know about this particular quote that might be of interest to the community. And anytime Cynthia says, yeah, I want to come on YouTube other than going boots on the ground, and I say, of course. So Monday night will be the first one of this series that we're going to do. It's just more, so what we will do is actually give the Forrest Fenn audio/video, and then we'll have some discussion around it. But you guys will actually hear from, it's not going to be our interpretation. You're going to actually see it and hear it from the horse's mouth, if you will. And then, of course, a lot of discussion around all that. So it's just something new. You may hear it and go, that's nothing. Or you may hear it and go, that's everything. It all depends on your stall, right? So that's what we're starting on Monday nights on my channel, which is Hint of Riches. If you put in Hint of Riches, you should be able to find it.
I'm actually putting it into the chat room right now. So that's Christy's channel, the Hint of Riches. Go there now if you're not already a subscriber, and subscribe so you're in the know, as Shelley likes to say. She has 793 subscribers. Let's see if we can get her to 1,000 by Monday night. That would be fun. So I am going to ask you a question, and I'm going to do so hesitantly, because I want to give you a chance to answer it as soon as possible into my asking the question. All right? So that I don't have to go any further than either one of us wants to go.
Sure, and I will try to answer if I can. It's going to be for, I think, a reasonable reason, which I will give that reason as well, because I feel the one thing that a Gypsy Kiss gives me is a safe place to discuss things. So I know you wouldn't do anything, anything more than being inquisitive. So fire away.
All right, here it is. So on the night that you returned from Santa Fe, your interview with Douglas and Forrest, we had a conversation at Cynthia's house. And you told me several things that you didn't believe I would be surprised about. Those things, will you be discussing some of those things in this upcoming release that does not wait for the documentary?
That does not what? Say that again.
Will you be so if you told me things that you would not be surprised, that I would not be surprised at, are you going to be discussing those same things in these upcoming shows, or do they wait for the documentary?
So it's a little bit of a tricky answer, but I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer it in two different ways.
All right.
I'm going to answer it in some things that we discuss, you and I, and some things that Forrest, I, and Preston discuss, Douglas discussed.
Yeah.
And then give a caveat at the end.
Okay.
So things like, did we discuss, is there a lead searcher? What does a lead searcher know? Do you think someone is close? When do you think that it is going to be found? What do the two parking lots mean? What do scrapbooks mean? What does anything outside the poem mean? How do you know exactly if the treasure chest has been found? And in light of that, how will you know after you pass? why do you not think it's been solved? When do you think it's going to be solved? What do you think about some of the positives and negatives in the chase? There's many things that we dove into because, again, the whole notion of our interview was we felt like we knew what to ask. I will say I didn't press as hard as I had Cynthia and Mike in the room. By the end, they were asking questions because I took a very, I'll say, conservative approach because I was the interviewer.
Right.
A lot of those were answered. Some of them were not. I will say those got bucketed into 3 categories, and this is what I really think your question is. I think they got bucketed into something very different than what the search community would want. But would it absolutely be good for the documentary? Would it be helpful for the documentary, or is it really not helpful for the documentary?
Agreed.
The documentary is very different than the search community. This documentary is not for just the search community. It is to bring a wider audience in. So when I'm going to give you the example of what we're going to be talking about Monday.
All right.
So if you take a quote that is, where do you start your search? When you get into the search, where do you start it? And how do you begin this search? And there were some specific answers that were a surprise to me. That is not something that when you are trying to get someone to understand who is Forrest Fenn and why did he do this search for the broader community, that's probably not something really interesting to the broader community, which if you saw this on Dateline and you had 30 minutes to talk about all this, that level of detail is not informational.
Yeah.
Just like, who is the lead searcher, or is there a lead searcher, and define that for me.
Right.
That might not be as informational. That's very informational to those really entrenched in the search community.
Right.
But not as much when you only have 4 minutes to give someone to hook them into making a series or documentary.
Right.
So to your question, I don't know. We talked kind of a little bit about both. We are going to be digging into and providing on our YouTube the quotes that we think are really informational to the search community, because we don't want to hide anything. We don't want to get an advantage. We want to provide that, but those that probably just won't make the reels because we got so much. I mean, we have, hundreds of minutes of audio and video from Forrest and Douglas, and not all of it can make it. Most of that hits the cutting room floor. It's never to be seen again. We want to be a little bit more pure to the search community and say, okay, here's a few quotes. You might look at them and say, oh, that's nothing. You might look at it and say, oh, that's informational, or somewhere in between. So we have picked probably 20 quotes that we believe will not be of interest to the documentary / trailers, etc., that we think would be of interest to the search community. I don't think any of those, I will be clear, they don't give any of the hints, the clues, etc. It's kind of like, I will give the example of, I have a gut feel, or, those sorts of things that are kind of, lead searcher, is there one? They're nothing that's going to break it loose, but for our search community, I think probably a little bit more than a scrapbook or equivalent to a scrapbook, but not so much, oh, you're going to drop everything and run because of it.
Yeah, I can say with confidence that a lot of the things that you talked about is not going to change anyone's theory, right?
Right.
It's not going to. You're not going to get closer. You're not going to get further away. You're simply going to realize that you can invest your time in a much better way. And I think if you can help searchers invest their time in more productive ways by providing this information, I think that's a very, very wise thing to do. And it sounds it sounds like that's the drawing line, that you've made. The decision that you've made is, it's not going to get you closer to treasure, but it's certainly going to save you some time and effort.
Right. Well, and then the one that I will just say briefly and then just go over and see the video that we put out last night, Mike and I have acquired a collection, a particular, what we consider a significant collection. We purchased this on our own. Forrest was not even aware that it was acquired it.
Yeah.
We, and it's the one that you and I, Toby, talked about a while ago, and it actually just came through just in the last couple days. We are actually going to do some research. Now I have both versions of TTOTC printing 1, printing 5 that has the different ISBN and all of those along the way. There's, and if you go into the video last night, we go into a few of the things, but like all the gallery catalogs, some of the things that were signed, not only by Forrest, but by Zoe, by Kelly, by it's just an eclectic array of what I consider interesting facets and little snippets.
Right.
Will it, again, just break it loose of, oh, here it is?
Yeah.
No, but it's a great off-season type of thing. That's what else is going to be on my channel.
Yeah.
Mike is, again, a little bit more of the purist, so it's not going to be necessarily on his channel, but it will be a fun way to we've acquired probably, I would say, 50 to 75 items that there are things, and we go into a lot of some of the particulars, but not all of them, before we start to sell them. We would like to tell their stories before we put them out there. And again, that's what we're about, is putting it out to the community before they go out to the masses. And it is amazing, some of the things that are out there. Again, not just from Forrest, Forrest Gallery owner partner, Eric Sloan. It's a huge set of items from Eric Sloan. It's just what I consider fun. These are the rabbit holes that I dig into. Mike kind of rolls his eyes at me a little bit, and that's okay. But that's why we have two different channels, and we're going to have some fun with that. So between my channel on Monday, between Forrest Fenn Quotes, and then some of these items that you may have never seen before, and you might scratch your head and go, huh, or you might go, oh, too far out there, just like scrapbooks. But there are some things.
Yeah, I think one of the dangers is that any time you provide something to the community that is either contradictory or enhancing what they already believe, then it's going to create more consternation, right, one way or the other. And I think that if you can avoid that, if you can just say, no, here's what it is, here's what we believe it to be, and try not to read anything more or less into it than what is actual, you know.
And that's exactly, like, there is a doodle from, I think it's 1970 something, the late 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I going to say the doodle means something? No, it's in the late 70s. But Mike's like, it's the first doodle. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. Then Forrest was doodling back then. But is it really cool to see how doodles have evolved?
Agreed.
Sure. And I never knew until this weekend, there were two sets of, there's a little bit of difference between the first 100 book printings and the next 900. I never knew that. Not that that's going to break anything loose. I just didn't know there was a difference at all. So those are the little things. And then a different ISBN on 5, and Camouflage by Eric Sloan, and BIP, if you've been on Old Santa Fe Trading Company and seen the little wiener dog there. That is BIP, and that was Eric Sloan drew that. I now have etchings, and there's just a whole array of things, and having them numbered, etc. I've already had some collectors ask me, can they buy them now? No, they cannot. I might be interested in a few months. My first thought is I just like the search community to see them. They might discount them, and then we'll sell them off because they mean nothing. But if you think they're kind of fun, you can just get a little bit more insight into the man or the whole, I don't know, scene. I don't know what the right word is. But a lot of people have been asking me, well, have you researched this or that? Literally, I got them 3 days ago, and I just got back into town, and I went and bought a turkey today. So I am focused. And Craig Carter sent a huge set of items to my son, and who is now weighing in on what it means to be a treasure hunter. And we spent the last hour before we got on AGK he was panning in a whole little panning thing that he got for my son. So we're researching between things, so we're going to do the very best we can. But the one thing I just want to drive home to everybody, there's no secret hint that's going to break it all loose. It just might fill in some holes to you, or just be informational that goes, oh, cool, I didn't know that.
And honestly, that was the conversation that you and I had that night. Right?
Yes.
There was nothing, there's no part of the conversation that you and I had that night that caused me to jump into my truck the following day and head north. You know, it saved me some time and effort.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that's good to hear.
Fun, but especially the lead searcher discussion. I am hoping, again, I have about 3 days of work to do. I am meeting with the documentarian again on Monday because we're going to hone in on the exact quotes that we're going to be using. But he did weigh it. Like you said, there was 3 questions by somebody earlier about lead searcher, scrapbook.
Yeah, yeah.
And has it been found?
Right.
All 3 of those
are answered.
Forrest weighed in on significantly.
Right.
And I'm hoping all 3 of those come out in the off season. If they don't, they're going to come out in the documentary. But all of that should be out no later than the next search season. But those are the ones that I would like to really get out to the search community. So, I mean, quite honestly, the lead searcher piece is just
if you look at the 3 questions, there is nothing in the questions that were asked. It wasn't even a question. It was her opinion that I was wrong, and there is no lead searcher, the treasure hasn't been found, and read the scrapbooks for entertainment. The correct answers to those opinions, or the correct perspective on those opinions, are not going to get you close to the treasure.
Yes, except for, here's one of the questions I asked, and I got a really, really great answer, and I can't go into what the answer is until we know we're not going to use it, and you're going to want to hear Forrest's answer anyway.
Yeah.
Here was the question I asked. You have said, Forrest, and you give us regular updates. But what happens after you pass? Is there going to be a way that we know as searchers? Because quite honestly, when 1,600 people come out and say that they have it, I'm going to lose some interest.
Right.
It is basically how I framed it.
Yeah.
He gave an answer that he has never given out before, that there may or may not be a reason, but if you guys can actually use deductive reasoning, you would know why it is so groundbreaking for me, and groundbreaking enough to say it's not going to help you find the treasure, but it's going to help you understand this isn't going to end in a year or 2 or 10. Wherever Forrest passes, I think it's going to continue on. But you need to hear his words. Those are the kind of questions that I think a random reporter would have stopped there and said, oh, there is a way to know.
Right.
I continued on with a set of questions like, will it be something that we as searchers will continue on and have a definitive way to know and continue down the path? And that's what I think is really helpful, or could be helpful. And some of the documentarians that have been put out documentaries before have been upset at me and said, you're trashing me. I'm not trashing you. I'm just saying that you can't be as aware. Like if I went into an archaeological site, there's no way for me to know all the depth. I knew the depth. And so even though I was scared to death giving an interview, and Toby, because you prepped me so well about how to ask questions, etc., I didn't know that. I knew the chase.
Right.
So I knew where to dig a little more, even though it wasn't on my set of questions. Those are the kind of questions like lead searcher. Is there a lead searcher? That's a yes or no question.
Right.
There was a lot of discussion behind that. And we got maybe 5 or 10 more questions on how do you know? Is it, how would they, that's not used in the documentary, I think it's important to get out to the community. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next couple of months, and hopefully somebody said this will be actually a fun off season if that comes out. And that's what we're going to do. But will it be groundbreaking like, drop everything and go? No. Will it be groundbreaking enough where it's more than, something that you may have had in the past? I'm not going to knock anything we've had in the past, but that's what I'm hoping we bring.
And I agree. I think if you can help the community focus in on the problem, which is resolving the clues in the poems, rather than all the other byproducts, the other distractions, if you will, I think that's good for the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And then just know when you see the documentary, just know, or the trailers to the documentary, because there's different ways this goes. Where is it going to be something that's groundbreaking to the search community? It's very different than someone that doesn't even know who Forrest Fenn is.
Right.
And so, or who he is, or what the search is.
Agreed.
So there's going to be some things that are very generic. There's going to be some things that are very groundbreaking to the search community of, oh, he's giving additional updates. But, you know, that's the fun. But just know that we're serving many audiences. But again, we're going to kind of continue to do that. And I won't try to sensationalize. We always say, like, huge announcement. We didn't do that last night because we didn't want anyone to think it's actually huge. It was huge enough of we're actually going to get some stuff up front. We did go back and forth on whether we just hold everything until the documentary's out. We decided to do it a little early. We thought that was huge, but we didn't say it is huge. So we're going to try, I shouldn't say we, I'm going to try not to sensationalize it as much. But just know it's all fun. We're going to have a good time with it and see where it goes.
Well, good. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it and looking forward to what you're sharing with the community, because I think it's, in my opinion, is that it's in the best interest of the community. They may not think so.
Yeah.
They may not agree with you, but I believe it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, great.
Well, thank you for taking my call, and I'm glad that we had a chance to talk, because I had no idea what was going on out there with that.
Yeah, that was
I'll
a little,
try, once I get through the holiday tomorrow, I'll take a look at last night's video and just kind of get caught up.
Yeah, and we're just going to do a fun kind of tag up tomorrow night. I gave the talk a few years ago. I hit a holiday that I didn't have a lot of people around, and I just needed a place to go. That's going to be us tomorrow night. So we know we won't have high numbers, but we just want to be there for people that may want to break from their family or not. But we're going on tomorrow night to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I think by that time in the evening, what you've done is kept your promise to your family that you'd spend Thanksgiving with them. By the time it's 7 o'clock, things are wrapping up and Grandpa's asleep anyway. So.
Yeah, and if you don't have a grandpa, that is your time that you go, okay, I just made my alone meal. I've had that on New Year's Eve. My mom passed on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I never celebrated it until Mike and I celebrated it last New Year's. I mean, other than with my kids. But and I remember being with, and I will give a shout out to Godelkin and Rooster. It was about 5 years ago, and we were there at 11 o'clock at night. And I just remember kind of feeling I just had some personal hardships. Yeah. And they were just fun little friends that I had, not related to anything. And if we can be that to one or two people tomorrow.
Even better.
If you are just winding down from your family time, come join us. It'll just be a good time.
Well, I will be there because I am the grandpa, but I'll be there anyway.
That's awesome. Well, no, you're search dad. That's what you are in my family.
Search dad. That's good. All right. Well, you have a good evening. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we look forward to seeing the show tomorrow and hearing more about it.
Yes, and for all those that we don't see, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.
All right. You take care.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Whew. Okay. Well, I feel like I'm caught up after going through all of that. I will give you one word of advice. Don't talk drugs or anything that's remotely close to that in my room. It falls into the category of religion and politics. I don't much tolerate it. So we went a little bit extra long tonight with Christy's call, but I enjoyed it. And I think we had a good show. Shelley is home safely, so we don't have to worry about that. And we will see. So I look forward to seeing Christy's show tomorrow night. Maybe we'll see some of you guys in the chat room. We can talk further then, but it sounds like she has a lot of interesting things to say. And I guess I should say that I've heard some of these things, and I think that she's... So the summary, D.B. Cooper, is that there are 3 categories of interview responses made by Fenn and Preston. Category 1 is those things that will be saved for the documentary and will have an impact on the search community or the chase. Category 2 are those things that will not be in the documentary but may not have any applicability anyway. And category number 3 is those things that were said by them that really is not going to have an impact on the community or get you closer to the treasure, but will make you feel better about what you're doing, or worse, depending. But it's things that you should know, and I think that's the category of the conversation she and I had. So I think it'll be interesting to see how you guys respond to it. So, should have fun with it. And like I said, I'm looking forward to hear it as much as you guys, okay? Thanks for joining me tonight. We had a great time opening presents, opening mails, listening to Davio and Will and a couple of other people, and I'm glad that you guys were here to listen to that, and I'm glad you were here to listen to Christy's explanation of what's going on. We'll see you on Friday night. We'll see Shelley on the Softer Side at 4 p.m. on Friday, and AGK at 7 p.m. on Friday, and we'll start up the conversation then again. All right? Thanks again for joining me tonight.